Hi everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce. Okay, so this is a wrap-up video, but I've decided that this year I'm going to do my wrap-ups a little bit differently. I started out doing them monthly, but I found doing it at the end of the month quite difficult because I read a lot of books per month, and by the end of the month I couldn't really remember any details about the books I'd read at the start of the month. So then I thought that maybe I would do it weekly or bi-monthly, and that worked for a little bit, but sometimes I didn't have the time to do wrap-ups in the middle of the month and could only do one at the end. So instead of doing them for a certain time period, I've decided that I'm going to do my wrap-ups the way that Sylvia from Wish Fulfillment does them. She just takes batches of books that she has read and films wrap-ups whenever she has the time, and I think that's a really good way of doing it. So yeah, I'm going to try this out and see how it works for me. I think it's going to work a lot better than the other systems do, so yes, let us get into it. Okay, so I have 5 books to talk about, and they are books number 9 through number 13. The first book is Whispered Words Volume 1 by Takashi Ikeda, which is a girls' love manga, and it's just really, really cute. So we have 2 girls, Sumika and Ushio, and Ushio really loves other girls, but only like cute girly girls, and Sumika is in love with Ushio but thinks that because she's not a cute girly girl that Ushio won't love her back. And it's just really, really cute. It's really long, and there are 3 volumes, and they're all this length, so it's a really long series. And it's just full of Ushio having crushes on other people, and Sumika being kind of, a bit upset and jealous about that, and trying to find time to tell Ushio that she loves her, but it's never the right time. And it was just really, really adorable. And I can't wait to read the other 2 volumes because I really enjoyed this, and I think it's just going to be a really enjoyable series. And I gave this volume 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I'm going to talk about is Breadcrumbs by Anne Ursu, which I read on the recommendation of Ashley from Tea Leaves and Bookbindings. Oh my god, this book is just so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's about this girl called Hazel, and she is having a bit of a tough time. She is transracially adopted. She is from India, but her parents are white. And her parents split up before this book starts, which means that she can't go to the school she's been going to anymore, which is a bit of a alternative kind of school. And so instead she has to go to the local public school, and she has a bit of trouble adapting to the new kind of school system and all the rules and stuff, and just the rigidity of it. And she really only has one friend, and that is Jack, who is her next door neighbor. So on top of all of these just kind of little issues that she's having in her everyday life, she then has a bit of a fight with Jack, and then he gets something in his eye and just completely changes. And Hazel is trying to figure out why her only friend suddenly doesn't even want to know her anymore, and she finds out that he's been taken by the White Witch, and she has to go and take him back. It's a retelling of The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen, and it's just really, really well done. When in the second half, when Hazel was in the forest, just the way that certain fairy tale tropes were taken and turned on their head was really effective. I especially liked the way the wolves weren't just kind of mindless evil creatures. I thought that was really clever. And just people that you thought were going to be bad were not bad, and people that you thought were going to be good were not good. And I just genuinely really enjoyed this book, and I really want to read some more of Anne Ursu's work, because if it's anything like this, all of it is going to be excellent. Okay, the next book I want to talk about is Holding the Man by Timothy Conograve, which I also gave 5 out of 5 stars to. I can't even really express how I feel about this book in words. It's about these 2 boys. One of them is Timothy Conograve, and the other one is called John Caleo, and they fall in love, and they meet and fall in love at a Catholic boys' high school in Melbourne. It is a true story. It's a bit of an autobiography. Yeah, so it just follows their lives and their relationship all through, kind of the turmoils of coming out and not having supportive families, and just trying to find a way to coexist together and not let the relationship go stale. And then on top of all of that, they have to deal with the AIDS crisis, and both of them end up testing HIV positive. And it's just a really, really beautiful, honest book. Tim doesn't shy away from any of the gory details about sex, about illness, about the difficulties that he and John had, about monogamy, and it's just not letting things get stagnant and just stuff like that. And yeah, if you have a chance to read this book, I really recommend it because it was just really, really, really good and really honest, and I really, really liked it. It will rip your heart out, but it's really good. The next book I'm going to talk about is actually 1 out of 2 in a bind-up, and the bind-up is The Seeker by Isabel Carmody, which is the first 2 books of the Over Newton series. I read the second one, which is called The Far Seekers. I read the first one a few months ago and just really enjoyed it. I never read this series as a child, even though it's a really famous Australian fantasy series. I just never read it. So I thought I would make up for lost time. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the first one. I think I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, and I gave the second one 4 stars. I really, really liked it. The series is probably not perfect, but the only criticism I could possibly have is just that sometimes some things like escapes are far too convenient, and things that you thought were going to be, you know, really, really tense and difficult would not be tense and difficult at all, or Elspeth would be unconscious, so you don't find out about the tense and difficult part. But overall, it's a really solid series, and I can't wait to read on because I am just really enjoying this series much more than I thought that I would. And yeah, and then the last one I want to talk about is another manga volume, and that is Puella Magi Kazumi Magica, The Innocent Malice Volume 1. This is like a spin-off from the Puella Magi Madoka Magica series. There's a couple of series about other girls that aren't Madoka, but the same kind of magical girl and kind of genre. Yeah, so I picked up this series because volume 3 was only like $7 on the book depository, so I thought, right, I'm going to get that in case it gets really expensive again or it goes out of stock. And then I also decided that I should probably buy volume 1 so that I can actually read it. Yeah, so I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. There's this girl, Kazumi, who kind of wakes up and she can't remember who she is or what has happened to her. She has lost her memory, and then she meets these 2 girls who are her best friends and her roommates, and she finds out that they are all magical girls and it is their job to fight witches and save the world. And it's really, really cute. The character designs are adorable, but I have a few issues with it because also the costumes are really, really, really skimpy. Like you can see on here, hopefully, the skimpiness of Kazumi's skirt. Basically what you see here is the extent of it, and you can actually see like a butt above it. And it's just, all of them are just like super revealing, barely their skirts, only like straps over the boobs, and I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, apart from that, there's nothing wrong with this series. Like, they're not really sexually objectified at all. It's just that their costumes are super skimpy. And there's actually like a note in it at the back about how skimpy the costumes are. And the artist was like, oh yeah, I do it like that so that I'm motivated to keep drawing. And I'm like, well, thanks for your honesty, mate. But I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is good because most magical girls are just in like super frilly costumes that are like variations on their school uniform. So this is nice in that it's different. But I would like a little less skin, I think, just a little less. And especially considering that, as usual, they are all in middle school. It's a bit, yeah. I have some troubles. But yeah, overall, it was a really good volume, and I'm excited to read the rest of the volumes in this series. Okay, so those are all the books I'm going to talk about in this wrap-up. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you thought. And yeah, I will see you when I see you. Bye, everyone.